Good morning, students. I am Dr.R.SUGANYA, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science with Cybersecurity. Today we are going to see about the concept of networking in Java. So in Java we have many concepts, but about networking we should have the knowledge about socket, addressing connection, Java networking model, TCP server and TCP client. So about networking, that is in Java. So Java networking means we have two or more computing devices which we can connect together, and we can also share some resources. So it provides facility to share data between different computing devices. There are some advantages of Java networking like sharing resources, centralizing the software management, Java networking terminology. The widely used Java networking terminologies are given below IP address, protocol, port number, MAC address, connection oriented and connectionless protocol, and socket. What is IP address? It is like a unique number assigned to a node of a network. Example, we can see like 192.168.0.1. It is composed of octets that range from 0 to 255. It is a logical address that can be changed. Next is about protocol. A protocol is a set of rules basically that is followed for communication. For example, TCP, FTP, Telnet, SMTP, POP, etc. Port number. Port number is used to uniquely identify different applications. It acts as a communication endpoint between applications. The port number is associated with the IP address for communication between two applications. MAC address, that is Media Access Control address, which is a unique identifier of Network Interface Controller. A network node can have multiple network interface controller but each with unique MAC. Next is about connection oriented and connectionless protocol. In connection oriented protocol, acknowledgement is sent by the receiver, so it is reliable but slow. The example of connection oriented protocol is TCP. But in connectionless protocol, acknowledgement is not sent by the receiver, so it is not reliable but fast. The example of connectionless protocol is UDP. Next is about socket. A socket is an endpoint between two-way communication. Next is we can see about the deep knowledge about sockets. So in sockets we can write a program, and before that socket provides communication mechanism between two computers using TCP. So a client program creates a socket on its end of the communication and attempts to connect that socket to a server. When connection is made, the server creates a socket object on its other end of communication. So the client and server can now communicate by writing to and reading from the socket. The Java.NET.Socket class represents a socket, and the Java.NET.Server socket class provides a mechanism for the server program to listen for clients and establish connections. So there are some following steps at which we can make a connections between two computers using the sockets. So we can have the which invokes the accept method of the socket server class, and after server is waiting, a client instantiates a socket object specifying the server name and the port number to connect to. On the server side, the accept method returns a reference to a new socket on the server that is connected to the client socket. After connection has been established, the input stream and client's output stream is connected, and so it is like a two-way communication protocol. So there are some set of methods to implement the sockets. Here is where we can address that particular action using the telephone call, and also for using the remote machine, and by using the port number or telephone extension number, and also port number to communicate in network. So what is the numbers here? The port number is used uniquely to identify different applications. It acts as a communication endpoint between application. The port number is associated with the IP address for communication between two applications. So how the port number works? Port number relates to network addressing. In TCP/IP networking, both TCP and UDP utilize their own set of ports that work together with IP addresses. These port numbers works like telephone extensions, just as a business telephone switchboard which can use a main phone number and assign each employee as an extension number. So a computer has a main address and a set of port numbers to handle incoming and outgoing connections. So port numbers. Here we can have the port numbers from 0 to 65,535. So we can have like HTTP, UDP port numbers, and we can also have some specific applications to pass through a firewall, which is like a security protocols. And on home networks, we can use broadband routers, which supports the port forwarding on their configurations. So we can have a website which requires specific TCP port number like 8080, 8081. So default port number will be 80. Next is about Java networking. So in Java TCP networking basis, we can have a particular server and a client where the server can communicates with the client using the TCP protocol. So we can have many applications which can be connected with each protocol or port numbers, and the port numbers which carries the data to a particular protocol from one applications to another. The server socket class is used to create servers, and here we have a server socket that has the accept method which waits for client connection. In the example below, we use a client handler thread which simply reads a message from the client and writes back a message to the client. And here we have the program which we can write back to the client by using the writer object writer.println, and we can have the message inside the double quotations. And if there is any error, then it can be catched by using the catch IO exception E. And finally it will try out again like try and catch method. So try and catch is a input output exceptions. So there are some keywords. So about networking, we have seen sockets, ports, IP addresses, connections, communications, client, server, and TCP. So you can try about for one word answers. These are the images that you can see, and you can try about for one word answers. Memory. So Java networking is a concept of connecting two or more computing devices together so that we can share resources. And about socket we have seen, and about advantages of Java networking and how we can share resources, about software management, about networking terminologies, IP address, protocol, port number, MAC address, connection oriented and connectionless protocol, and about sockets. Thank you.